Now, Ghana's recent abstinence from a United Nations Human Rights Council vote to renew the mandate of the independent expert on the protection against violence and discrimination against LGBTQ plus persons has sparked controversy. Ghana's reps joined 2 other countries to abstain, while 29 member states voted in favor of the mandate renewal. 15 countries also voted against the renewal on Monday, July 7, during the Council's 59th session in Geneva. Ghana's decision to abstain comes at a time of heightened domestic pressure to legislate against LGBTQ plus activities. In May, the Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Alban Bagbin, announced plans to reintroduce the widely criticized anti-LGBT bill after a botched attempt to pass it in the 8th Parliament. The Foreign Affairs Minister, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, has come under some criticism for the choice to abstain, especially when Ghana's position on LGBTQ is clear. Proponents of the recent decision also argue that the decision drums home a commitment to ensure members of the community are not attacked for their choice. Moses Foh Amoaning is a private legal practitioner and an advocate for the Proper Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill. He's joined us via the phone. I appreciate you speaking to us. Would you join the others to conclude that the country appears to be flip-flopping on a position already agreed on?
Well, good afternoon to you and good afternoon to all your listeners. I like your script writer. Widely criticized by who? What's the base of the widely? Anyway, but well, let me just identify my position. I am the Executive Secretary of the National Coalition for Proper Human Sexual Rights and Family Values. It's a coalition involving all Christian, all Muslims, and all our traditional rulers, as you're very much aware. I'm the Executive Secretary and the spokesperson, so I'm not just a human rights activist or something like that. So that's the role in which I'm speaking on this program. Now, the truth of the matter is that LGBT rights don't belong to the framework of international human rights law. The LGBT movement are aware of it, and over the last 20, 30 years, they have falsely pushed into UN, law that it is an assumption. That is certainly not the case. The appointment of a UN expert on the protection of, LGBT rights and, the discrimination against and violence against LGBT people didn't start today. It started in 2017. And the UN Human Rights, Commission and Council, tried to pass in establishing this expert, there was a vote on it. Ghana abstained. So for the politicians, let me make them understand that this is not a today matter. It started in 2017. Ghana abstained. In 2018, because we have put a lot of pressure on the CSE, Comprehensive Sexuality Education stuff, the government voted against it. From 2019, they've always abstained. So I think that the government itself probably were not aware. Our UN representative, I think, should be blamed for some of these matters. But I think it is important for the minister, Honorable Samuel Okudzeto. And let me say this: he's been very warm about it. He sent me a copy of the publication that all of us have seen, and I'm going to brief him about some of the areas that I think are wrong. But the truth of the matter is, in Ghana, and the Supreme Court held last year that Section 104 of the Criminal Offences Act, it's not unconstitutional, right. And the section, Article 17, which the minister quoted in his article, it cannot be quoted in support of LGBTQ plus activities at all. And by the way, what was the basis of the voting was not the violence. It was the renewal of the mandate of the expert. And the role of the mandate of the expert is to push LGBTQ plus activities around the world. That's a matter of fact.
You would have expected that they would have voted against the renewal of the mandate?
Yes. Precisely, they should have voted against it if the country had been properly briefed. And my briefing to the minister, because I think he needs a lot of briefing, our UN representatives, to be honest with you, who are in Geneva, are very, very, they're the ones that are given the impression of flip-flopping. The country's foreign policy, according to Article 17.3, is very clear. It must be organized in the interest of Ghana. And everybody knows that the majority of Ghanaians don't like LGBTQ plus activities. They don't hate people with those challenges. Indeed, we have a hospital that caters for them. But what we don't want is to flaunt it, to glamorize it, as Western Europeans do. So really, the government's position must be made very clear and unequivocal, and then we instruct our UN representatives accordingly.
But you have admitted that since 2019 we've always abstained, and so yes, abstaining really shouldn't be that big of a deal. Rather, what some will say is the disappointment some of you would feel that 7 months on we're still yet to see this new bill go into Parliament and receive the appropriate approvals.
I'm not cutting you, sir. No, what do you mean, some of us? Are you happy with the man entering through the exit? Are you happy about it? So it's not about me. Even yourself and your parents and everybody sitting in your studio know that LGBTQ plus activities are abnormal. So don't talk about me, please. You are interviewing me.
I'm not making this about you. I'm just asking on the pointers that you admit to a certain trend in our abstinence from these votes. That's why I'm making the point that then really to all of the individuals who are criticizing or who may have raised concerns, this is in line with what we've been doing since 2019. Rather, criticism, for instance...
hold on, but I think as a TV3 journalist, that's exactly what Ghanaians voted against. Right. You shouldn't be talking like this. You should be the first person I've seen you pontificate about what Ghanaians voted against. You should be the last person talking like this. That's exactly what Ghanaians voted against.
Absolutely.
So the Akufo-Addo government chose to abstain, which is one of the major reasons why Ghanaians dismissed them in 2024 in a historic vote. Then this government should be doing something different. Don't you think so? You answer me. Your audience is listening to you.
Unfortunately, I'm not supposed to be answering the questions, but on 7 months on... 7 months on, Ms. Amoaning, 7 months on, should we have been seeing a lot more? Because we've seen one of the lead advocates, Sam George, write on social media as well, expressing some disappointment with the position we took at this voting while reiterating his commitment. Should it have gone beyond these commitments and reassurances that we'll see the bill come into light?
I totally agree with you. And I think the government should work quicker than it is. But as a coalition, let me give you information. We've even written to the Constitutional Review Committee for a review and an amendment to the Constitution, amending the Constitution to have clear provisions prohibiting LGBTQ plus activities, but giving care, treatment and support for those who face such challenges. That's one. Two, defining sex to mean male and female, as President Trump has done in the United States. So we're even going beyond the law. And I'm hoping that Professor Temple and his group of committee members will invite us, we do the presentation, and I'm hoping the government, the president has promised us that his Attorney General will bring the bill to Parliament. But not only the bill, he should support the constitutional amendment to ensure that this is clear, black and white. The Ghanaian Constitution abhors such behavior, although we take care of those who need it. I think that is the way to go.
Right, Mr. Amoaning, as always, appreciate you talking to us. That's Foh Amoaning. He leads that coalition of Christians, Muslims, different groupings, all backing the passage of the bill and speaking strongly against the activities of LGBTQ plus persons in the country. We'll take